Uh, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever the place that you're watching me from. So today I've just felt like I should share something with you. So, as you have read down there from the headline, it is a story time, like my experience with a married man, or let me call him my experience with the Mubabas or sponsor. Uh, I know that by the end of this video, you will be asking yourself a lot of questions. Am I still a Christian? Yes, I'm still a Christian. So, my story started, my story with this married man started around last year, no, not 2023, around 2022, around April there, yeah. There was this season that I was going through a lot of issues in my life, and so I was encouraged by my mom to go to a certain pastor who was a lady. She was a very good pastor. She was very prayerful, and so you see these people that usually foresees things, like she was like a prophetess, yeah. So when I reached there, at least I was served, like I was told everything. First of all, the woman of God told me, like, to have faith. There are some things that are yet to happen in my life, like there are greater blessings that are yet to happen in my life, yeah. So after that, I was very happy. You see that experience, like after um, a session, maybe fellowship, you see that fulfillment that you usually have. I had that fulfillment. So after the service, me together with one of my cousins, he escorted me to the bus station that was in Kericho, so that I could board a mat to Nairobi, yeah. And by good luck, I got a car, a mat that was coming directly to Nairobi. So as I was going to pay for my ticket, there was this man that was observing me keenly, yeah? As for him, he had already paid for his seat, so he had booked the seat, like aliwekelea, what do you call it, aliwekelea bagi kwa seat yake na akamove hapo nje. He was bossy. He was just looking like money, yeah? And so he was just standing somewhere, and he was observing people as they are entering into the car. Sorry for that. So, as I went to pay for my ticket, I realized that it was very expensive. Yani, very expensive in regarding to my status. It was 1300, and for me, I didn't think that it will be that much. I was approximating for 1100 or 1000 bob. So I was persuading the person who was giving out the ticket. I was asking him at least if at all he will deduct at least 100 bob or 200 bob so that I can afford the price. During the process, I just felt, you know, Kenyans, during the bargaining process, you usually like, okay, you tell the person, okay, let me go, I will come back. But that was not the case. I just said like that, but I wanted him to tell me like, kuja tuongee. So after I did that, the man who was giving out the ticket told me, kuja madam tuongee. Okay, I've started this story from far, very far, so that you can understand where the whole story started from. So after he called me, he asked me for 1100 bob, of which I paid him. During the process, he gave me the ticket, and I went. And you see the front seat, the driver seat, and then the other two seats, yeah, they were not occupied by anyone. So I took my bag to the very front seat because I wanted to sit there. During the process, I felt like calling someone, so I went back to buy credit, yeah. And then that sponsor, that Mubabas, spotted me. He came quickly and he was like, "Excuse me, madam. Mm, can I ask you something? Kindly." Okay, he was very polite. Kindly, ati, because you are tall, and that middle seat is a little bit uplifted, like you won't be comfortable, and the journey is so long from here Kericho up to Nairobi. And I was like, oh, I bought his idea. I was like, oh, okay. So what do you want? And so he advised me, like, you can go to the other seat, the back seat, of which he had already booked one that is near the window. So I was like, okay. At the end of the day, this man looks very polite, very mature, and he looked rich, yeah. But my intention was not to date a Mubaba. So you see, connecting these two things, I'm coming from prayers, and now I'm just about to fall into sin. So after that, uh, the conductor, can I call him the conductor or the driver? But these long distances cars, normally they don't have conductors. I think it was just someone uh, that was directing people on how to sit in the bus, in the mat. So he was like, no, 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 you're not supposed to sit there. He was trying like to tell me to go back to the front seat. But this man, he was there to protect me. Like he told the guy, no, wachana na yeye, wacha yeye akae pali anataka. So that man left me, and I went directly, and I sat at the window side, and then that Mubaba sat next to me, yeah. So we were all quiet, yeah, until the mat was started, until the mat was full and it was started. So our journey started. At that point, he told me, like, you see that man we seated next to the driver, you see the way he's struggling, like he's not comfortable. And I was like, oh, by the way, you are a good man. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, like, for kunichanua. So we continued with the journey, uchovu hapa na pale. And so before even we reached Nakuru, he was like, he told me, like, are you going directly to Nairobi, or are you going to reach Nairobi, or you're going to Nakuru, or maybe to somewhere in between? I was like, I'm going to Nairobi. And he was like, wow, 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 this is God. And I was like, oh, is this my prayer being answered? And I was like, oh, maybe this man is not married. I was like, oh, I was a bit confused. And I was like, oh, God, you've decided to bless me this time. Okay, I just smiled. And then we talked, we exchanged, we had chit chat like here and there. Are you a student? He just asked me a lot of questions, and I was like, oh, this man is so awesome. So on reaching Nairobi, I was not very conversant with the area. Yeah. On reaching Nairobi, I think the mat stopped us before Molo Line stage, and I was only conversant with the Molo Line area, so I had to swallow my pride, and I had to tell this man, aki sijui pali niko. And he was like, unaenda kwa stage ya? I told him. So he told me, like, we are on the right track, let's go. We went. He was a very good man, and he was like, now this is the place you have to go. And he was like, you're a very good girl. Just can you give me your number so that whenever I'll come to that place, I'll just call you. We go and have coffee. And I was like, who doesn't like coffee? I love coffee. I love coffee. Yeah. So we exchanged numbers. And guess what? Tomorrow, at around 11, I texted the man. Imagine I was the very first person to text him. I didn't wait for him to text me. I was like, hey, how are you? And he was like, oh, I'm fine. Is this the girl that you were together yesterday? I was like, yes. And I was the first one to tell him, like, I miss you already. And so he told me, you see, at this point, I was not very sure if he is married or he is not married. So at this point, he told me, like, I miss you too. So, Ati, when can we meet? And I told him anytime. So we arranged for a Friday night. Yeah. He told me, like, on Friday, I will arrange for the Airbnb. We go there, we have a good time, and then I take you back in the morning. I was like, oh, why not? Why not? I was very happy, yeah. But as for me, I was, see, you see these kienyeji chiles. I am one of those kienyeji's. I was like, I didn't know the man wanted to sleep with me. I was like, the way he said, like, I will take you, we have our good time, and then I take you back. I didn't know what the good time was. And so, um, when it was on Friday, the man texted me, like, he told me, like, he was expecting his wife to go to a different town for the sake of job, but unfortunately the wife didn't go. And at that point I was like, oh, kumbe you are married. I was like, the I had mixed reactions. From one side I was like, I don't want to date a married man, and from the other side I was like, this man seemed to be so sweet. Let me give it a try. So since that Friday had backfired, we had to try the other week, yeah. So the other week, the wife went for the job trip, yeah. So we had a good time. The man was rich. He has his own house in Kileleshwa, yeah. So he had to come for me after work. He came for me. So after coming for me, he by the way, we had to time until it's a little bit darker, from maybe 7:30. It was around 7:30 or 8 there. So he picked me. He was really suspicious because he didn't want anyone to see me with him. And guess what? I was very comfortable with that. Yeah, I was comfortable with that. I didn't see it as bad in any way. So he picked me at night. We went up to that Airbnb. Hey, guess what? Me, imagine I was very mshamba. I didn't know that we were going to have whatever. Immediately we reached there, we were given the key to our room. We went there. For me, I was thinking, like, we are going to eat and then maybe we share stories, we watch movie, and then we come back. When we reached there, immediately we got into that Airbnb. The man grabbed me. He kissed me, like, passionately, and then akaniskuma kwa bed. And I was like, no, what are you doing? Then he told me, what do you think we came to do? I told him, like, but you told me that you are coming to watch movies and have just good time. And then he was like, what do you think good time is? I was really innocent. I started to cry and I was like, I told him, I'm very hungry. I want to eat fast. And so because that man, I think he was just a good person. He was really understanding to some point. And so he told me, what do you want to eat? I told him, nataka kuku. So he had to go up to the nearest chicken inn. He brought me chicken, some chips and um, Fanta, Fanta Passion. It was Fanta Orange, yeah. After that, he came. It was very sweet. It was my first time to eat um, chicken from Chicken Inn, yeah. It was really sweet, yeah. I can't imagine that. So, after that, the man told me we go to bed. I told him no. We have already had a good time. I was really, hey, I was really ready to protect myself against any harm. I told him, you're not going to do anything. So, guess what? Imagine he obeyed. He never did anything to me, but he was really mad at me. He was really bitter at me. But we slept, and by 5, he had already, uh, okay, his alarm rang. And so he woke me up. Imagine he woke me up very well. He told me, like, we have to go. So we went into his car. He carried me back. Imagine we were not talking. He was really mad and I was like, why are you mad? And then he was like, why are you doing this to me? We agreed that you're going to have good time. What did you do to me? I was like, I didn't know that. Maybe next time. So immediately I reached to my house. I had to prepare for work. So at work, imagine I didn't concentrate with work. I was just thinking about him. I started texting him, apologizing, what. Guess what? The man had already blocked me. I had to ask my friends for their phones so that I can communicate with the man. I used to call him like, it's me. Can we talk? Siju, what? Can we talk? And then he was like, I'm ready to talk with you only when you're ready to give me what I want. Then, guess what? Part 2 loading. Kindly make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Part 2 is more fire, yeah? Don't go anywhere. Stick around as you're waiting for the part 2. Bye bye for now. Let's meet in our next video.